guys. I am literally sitting in the chair with a blanket because I'm so cold. It's like so cold in my house, but it's so hot outside, so that's just what we have to do. So, hello, welcome back to my channel. Rosie's here. You cannot see her, but she's wanting pets. Today I'm going to be filming my May wrap up, all the books that I read in May. I didn't have any 5-star reads in May, which is so sad. I had the same experience last May. I had one 5-star read, but it was a reread last year. And I feel like overall May was just not the greatest reading month last year, and I feel like the same this month, this year. I mean, not that it was a bad reading month. I did read books. Like most of the books I read I did enjoy, but I felt like I just like didn't have a book that literally like hit me in the sternum, like wrecked me. You know what I mean? That is a favorite of the year or something like that, because I feel like every month this year I've had a favorite book of the year except May. So anyways, let's talk about all the books that I read in May. Don't get me wrong, I did enjoy most of these and they were a great grand old time and I would recommend them, but I didn't have like a standout favorite of the month. I just had a few that I really loved, and then I had a few that I loved, and then I had a few that I didn't love. Anyways, I'm just gonna shut up. Let's get into it. I'm already rambling. So first, I read The Graham Effect by Elle Kennedy. I read like the first 100-ish pages, and then I was like, I don't really want to pick this book up. I was feeling kind of slumpy, and then our power went out, and I didn't have anything else to do because my phone was about to die, and we had no power. It was dark, and I had my Kindle because it's on Kindle Unlimited. So I was like, I'm just gonna read this, and then I literally read all of it pretty much that night. So thank you to the power, because, well, I probably would have picked this back up, but I was just kind of feeling slumpy, like not really in the mood to read. I don't really know. But then I'm so glad that I did, because I love this book. So if you don't know, Elle Kennedy wrote the Off-Campus series, which I read in December and loved so much. This is a spin-off of the Off-Campus series, so it follows Gigi Graham, who is Hannah and Garrett's daughter from The Deal, which is just so fun. Like I knew I would love it because of that aspect, because I love The Deal. My favorite books in the Off-Campus series are The Deal and The Score, if you were wondering. And so excited for this. I'm so excited to see like cameos of the off-campus characters, and it delivered. So basically follows Gigi, like I said, and then Luke Ryder, and they're both hockey players. They kind of had like a not a great first meeting years before, like 6 years before, and then they see each other again in college, and you're following them. I'm not gonna give too much away because the plot of the book doesn't happen until like 150 pages in, but I really enjoyed this. I gave it 4.5 stars. It is very spicy. Elle Kennedy's books are just spicy, so if you want to avoid spice, maybe not read them, but I just love the off-campus books so much. They're just like comfort reads, so excited for the series. I did love this book. I loved the dynamic between Gigi and Ryder, and they're just so cute. I also love seeing the off-campus characters, and seeing Hannah and Garrett as parents is so cool. And also the characters from off-campus, they obviously went to Broward University, and they're like legends at Broward University, so they talk about them in this book. Like Luke Ryder looks up to Garrett Graham because he's like a legend in hockey and at Broward University and like professional hockey and stuff, which is just so fun because like you know him as like Garrett Graham, like he's like, you know, Garrett Graham from The Deal, but now you're like seeing him as like a dad, and you're seeing him as like an older, like well-known hockey player. And also the coach from Broward University is still the same coach as at off-campus, and it was just a great grand old time. I loved it. I flew through it. There is like deeper elements to her books, which I really enjoy. They're still funny, lighthearted, but you do get deeper elements with each character, and it is pretty long. Like it's like 480 something pages, but it doesn't feel long. Like honestly, I flew through this. Take that with a grain of salt, because if a romance book hooks me, like I will read 500 pages of a romance book. Like I don't care if it's long. If I'm in the mood for a long romance, I will eat it up. It doesn't really matter to me. So it doesn't feel long. I feel like it looks long, but it doesn't feel long. You know what I mean? You obviously see Garrett and Hannah in this book, but you also get to see the other characters from off-campus, like Dean, Logan, Tucker. I think they're all in here, and I love that so much. And their kids. Oh, it's so good. So anyways, next I read The Summer Will Be Different by Carly Fortune. This is her new release. This cover, stunning. Like let's just take a moment for the cover. This is about Lucy, and she is basically, it's like a past and present timeline where Lucy is going to Prince Edward Island, which is in Canada, and she's going with her best friend, who is Bridget. And she gets there. Bridget isn't there yet because she has like a prior thing, so she's getting there a little later than Lucy. And Lucy runs into Felix, has a night with him, and then realizes it's Bridget's brother. So that's kind of the plot, and you're following them in the present as they go back to Prince Edward Island, and it's basically like 5 summers of them in Prince Edward Island and then in the present, and it goes back and forth. I really love this. I actually like started a reading vlog for this book and then didn't finish it because I read the end so fast, and then I just didn't share any thoughts, so I ended up not posting a reading vlog for this. I'm so sorry, but I loved it. It's like the perfect summer read. If you're looking for a summer read, this is it. I feel like I need to reread Every Summer After, but I loved it way more than Meet Me at the Lake. And when I think about Every Summer After, it's been so long, so I didn't really know where it would rank. rank, but I did enjoy Every Summer After. Was like one of my favorite romances at the time that I read it, but it's been a couple years. But anyways, I love this. It was so good. Such good summer vibes, the friendship aspects, the setting. Like Carly Fortune knows how to write a summer setting. It's so good. And I will say this is spicier than her other books that I remember. So it is a little bit spicy, and I feel like it feels a little lustful at first, like very physical, but then there is an emotional connection, and I really started to love the book like the second half. So really enjoyed this. Perfect for summer, 4 stars. I feel like Carly Fortune is just so good at making you like hooked and not want to put the book down, and like that you're there with the characters at the summer setting. And now I want to go to Prince Edward Island. So love this book, so good. Next, I read Alex Approximately by Jen Bennett. This is a YA romance, and it follows Bailey, and she basically is moving. Where is she from? I think she lives on the East Coast, and she ends up moving to California, this little beach town, to live with her dad for the summer. Well, maybe she's living just indefinitely, but it takes place during the summer. And she has this like pen pal online that she talks to, and I think he lives in California, but she doesn't tell him she's moving to California. And then she meets this guy that she ends up working with at like a park of some sort. What is it called? At the local tourist trap museum. That's what it is. And they like don't get along, but you're like following them. And then she also has the pen pal. If you know a book like this, you know where that's going, but I'm not gonna tell you. But I love this. It was so good. Such a fun summer romance. I love a YA summer romance. I love a YA romance in general, and it's just so fun. I feel like the vibes of this are so good for summer. Like literally one of my favorite summer books. I feel like it's a book that I would like want to reread every summer. It's just so good. I feel like the descriptions are so good. I just felt like I was there in California in this little beach town, and I had a great time. I love this book. Highly recommend it. Gave it 4.25 stars, and I just loved it. It was a great summer read, and it's YA, so there's no spice. Then I read The Dixon Rule by Elle Kennedy. This is the second book after The Graham Effect, and I did read this in a reading vlog. This follows Diana, who is Gigi's best friend, and then it also follows Shane, who is Ryder's best friend, and they end up being like neighbors because they both live in this apartment complex, and they literally live like next door to each other basically. The majority of the book takes place in the summer, so you're like getting the pool vibes, that kind of thing. They don't really like each other, and then you kind of go from there. I'm not gonna say the plot of this book either because it doesn't happen until like 150 pages maybe, and I don't want to ruin it for you, and it's just fun to go in blind. I really enjoyed this. I gave it 4 stars. I didn't love it as much as The Graham Effect. I just didn't love the dynamic between these characters as much as The Graham Effect, but I still really enjoyed it. I loved the cameos of the characters. I loved the banter. It was so funny, and there is some emotional aspects to this, but I had a great time. I really enjoyed it. I feel like Elle Kennedy just is so good. Like hockey romances, college romances, and I really enjoyed it. You also see obviously Gigi and Ryder. You see off-campus kids. Really love this. It is very spicy. So also the found family in these books is so good because I feel like the hockey players are just like a family, and I love that. So anyways, I did read it in my reading vlog. I did like a weekly reading vlog, so if you want more details, you can watch it there. Also read Fragile Sanctuary by Catherine Cowles. This is her new release, and it is the first book in a new series, and it's about this guy who is very closed off, very grumpy, and he ends up renovating this house for the female main character who is moving back to town. There's very traumatic things that happen to both of them, and she's very sunshine. She loves gardening, things like that, and I really enjoyed this. I gave it 4 stars. Not my favorite by Catherine Cowles, and I probably will love other books in the series more, but I'm so excited to continue it. I feel like it's gonna be so good. Continue the series, I mean. I love the romantic suspense plot. I just love a serial killer in a romantic suspense. If you don't know, Catherine Cowles writes romantic suspenses. I will say this is the spiciest book that I've read by her. I feel like usually there's only 1 or 2 scenes, but this one had a little bit more, but I still really enjoyed it. And I just feel like I'm always hooked in Catherine Cowles books, and I'm always trying to find out who the bad guy is, and I always get it wrong. So maybe one day, well, I did get Ashes of You right, which is my favorite by her. I did get that one right, but I did not get this one right. But so excited to continue the series as it comes out this year and next year. Next, I read an arc of The Perfect Putt by Anna Conwell. This is after The Golden Goal, and it's a golf romance. It follows Miles and Ellie. And basically Miles is a professional golfer, and he's looking for an assistant, and Ellie ends up being his assistant. I thought this was like a golfer caddy situation. It's not. It's a golfer assistant. I love that Anna Conwell is doing sports. It's so good. This comes out tomorrow, June 6th. So by the time this video is up, this book will be out. I highly recommend it. It's closed door, and it was just so fun. I just love Anna Conwell's books. They are like comfort reads, so cozy and sweet, and I feel like she just never misses. Like, I read her books and I love them every single time, and I'm so excited to be on her art team. So love this book. I did mention in my like sports romance video that I would let you know if I think it's similar to Tessa Bailey's book, Fangirl Down. It is not like a catty golfer situation like Fangirl Down is, but if you want a golf romance that is closed door, I do highly recommend this one. I gave it 4 stars, and I'm so excited. I think the next one is baseball. I don't know. but I'm so excited. Also, you don't have to read it in order, but you do see the couple from The Golden Goal in this book. So, and the slow burn was just so good. Like, she's just so good. I love her books. Also, I forgot to say that you do not have to read the off-campus series before you read The Graham Effect and the Dixon Rule, but I do recommend it because the off-campus books are just so good. And I would also recommend reading the Briar series. So anyways, I forgot to say that. So let's move on. Next, I read an arc of Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan, but this is out by the time you're watching this. I think it came out a few days ago. I love Annabelle Monaghan's books. They are closed door, like, summary reads. I've read all of her books and love them. I gave this 4 stars. I love her writing. I love her, like, descriptions. This is about a single mom. She has a few kids. She's like in her 30s, and she meets this guy. Like, she meets him because her dog like pees on him or something, which is really funny, and I just really enjoyed it. It was cute. It was sweet. I feel like I couldn't really relate to it because she is in her late 30s, and I almost would recommend this to like a woman in her 30s because I feel like you might be able to relate to it, but I still did really enjoy it. It was so good for summer. I feel like she's so good at writing chemistry in depth. It is closed door, so you're getting like the adult romance, but it's closed door, no spice, and it's just great. I also love the descriptions of Long Island because it does take place on Long Island, which is super fun, and it was good. I really enjoyed it. I love like the kids, the dynamic between the main characters and the kids. It was just really cute, and it's perfect for summer, so highly recommend adding it to your summer TBR. Next, I read an arc of All I Want Is You by Fallon Ballard. I'm so sorry I read so many arcs this month, but this is her Christmas read. I think it's like a bonus book that she's coming out with this year, and I loved Lease on Love by Fallon Ballard, one of my favorite books of all time, or one of my favorite romances of all time, and I got an arc of this one, and I did enjoy it. It's like a fun Christmas read, but I gave it 3 stars because it was just like, I just didn't really care. I didn't really connect to the characters. I think it's like Second Chance. Yeah, it's Second Chance around the holidays. And at first I thought I was really gonna love it, and then I just like didn't really care, and I was just kind of trying to finish it. So I didn't love it, but I still recommend it for like the holidays. Also, I did read it in like the peak of the heat. Like, it was hot outside and I'm reading a Christmas book, so, you know, can't really fault that was anything because it's obviously not Christmas yet. I thought it was good, a good holiday read, but it is pretty spicy. So next, I read Powerful by Lauren Roberts. This is a novella that takes place during Powerless. I would recommend reading Powerless before you read this. Also, Simon Teen posted a like tandem guide, so you can tandem read Powerless with this if you would so wish to do. I obviously haven't done that, but that sounds kind of fun. So this is like a short little novella. It's like 200 something pages, and it follows a side character from Powerless. So you see this person in Powerless, the girl you see in Powerless, the guy you do not. He's a new character in this book. Also, I got this from Blackwell's. It's the UK edition, and it's so cute. It's a little paperback. It's adorable. And I love the little hardcover. Like, I kind of wish I had the hardcover, but I ordered this because it came out in the UK sooner than it came out in the US. But then I ended up not reading it until May. So anyways, really enjoyed this. I gave it 4 stars, and it honestly kind of put me in a slump in the sense of like, it made me so excited for Reckless, and I didn't want to read anything else. I read this, and it was like a week and a half before I read anything else. I read one more book after this, and it took like a week and a half. It was like the last couple days of the month I read the next book. Anyways, I feel like the romance in this is pretty quick, obviously because it is a novella, but I still really enjoyed it. It was, I just can't talk about the end because if you know, you know. And I just made me more excited for Reckless. I really love Lauren's writing. I love like the world of Powerless. It's just so good. And Reckless comes out in less than a month. I'm so excited. So this is a YA fantasy trilogy. That's what Powerless is. Very easy to read, very good for beginners in fantasy, no spice. And this novella was just so quick, easy, fast paced. That is the last physical book I read. But then I read an arc of one of my most anticipated releases, which is For the Record by Juliana Smith. I love her books so much. We all know this. We know how much I love Juliana Smith's books. I talk about them all the time. So this is the 4th book in the Wells Family series, and it follows Adam and Rachel, and they end up getting married in Las Vegas, and it's kind of like past and present timeline from the past where they met, became friends, they're best friends over these years, and then in the present when they like are married. This was just so sweet, so good. I love Juliana's books. I love her writing. I love her romances. I love her characters. They're just so sweet and endearing and easy to love, and I just love her books. They're closed door, but they're still like chemistry and tension and angst and pining. Oh, it was just so good. And also the female main character has a sourdough starter. So do I. Love that for us. And she also loves music, so every chapter of the book starts with a song, and she has a record player. She loves music. Her dad also has dementia, so there's like that aspect of it, and her love for music and like her relationship with her dad, which was so good. I really loved it. I gave it 4.5 stars, like 4.75, 4.5-ish. Loved it. Probably my favorite book of the month. Yeah, I think so. I think it was my favorite book of the month. I really loved it. I just love the series so much. You don't have to read them in order, but I love the other 3 books so much too. I think my favorite is Rock in a Hard Place. It was just so good. It was my first 5-star read of the year. This year, the accidental marriage trope, I just love so much. And just Adam, he was so sweet and just like was so like smitten with Rachel. It was so cute, and I love a friends to lovers, best friends to lovers situation. I love the like past and present timeline. It was very fun. So anyways, really enjoyed that book, and that was the last book that I read in May. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed hearing all the books that I read in May. I would love to know what you read in May, and I'm so excited for the new releases in June and all the books I'm gonna read this summer. Like, I literally cannot wait for summer romances, summer books, new releases. So many new books are coming out this summer. Oh, I'm so excited. So anyways, look forward to all the summer videos coming soon. But I think that's it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you very soon for my next video. Bye.